overcast and gray on this 43rd day of racing at beautiful Belmont Park. Felt more like a late September afternoon during the fall championship meet as opposed to a month away from Saratoga Racecourse, but it is what it is. Mother Nature's been with us through most of this spring-summer meet at Belmont Park with glorious weather, and we got through the card without any serious rain. We're happy about that. We're also happy you've joined us. It's Jason Blewett, Richard Migliori on a Saturday big at Belmont in which we actually had a Grade 1, the 59th Mother Goose.
And the Mother Goose is a race I've always enjoyed. From the time I was a little kid, remember watching Ruffian win the Mother Goose, all the way to the mother of all gooses, Meadow Star and Light battling it out. It's always a great race, and I don't think today's edition disappointed at all.
It ran a real parallel, I think, with the 3-year-old filly division on the dirt regarding no clear-cut leader, and that was pretty much the betting in that 10-horse cast in which the lukewarm favorite at 7-2 was Wonder Gal from the outside. More, and of course, that 3-year-old filly classic in just a second, as we perhaps talk about the best 3-year-old filly in training in the United States in the form of the turf monster, Lady Eli, who tuned up for next Saturday's Belmont Oaks, and trainer Chad Brown with the breeze this morning here at beautiful Belmont.
Looks like she's pretty straightforward. It seems like she works this very similar works every time, 101 and change. We know she's brilliant. We know she's got that turn of foot. She looks like she's in good form. Chad Brown's barn has been extremely hot. Question mark for me, and I keep saying it until I'm proven wrong. 1.25 miles, will that be the stumbling block?
We have seen this barn for Chad Brown, and I guess Chad is ready to see if she can go the 1.25 miles as well. His quotes regarding today's work to the NYRA Communications Department, very positive. She is ready to run, but Chad, as is usually the case, you've got the strength in numbers. A total of 5 horses will be entered in both the Belmont Oaks and the Belmont Derby.
It's amazing what Chad Brown's been able to do in a relatively short period of time to build the kind of stable he has built and the quality it runs through the barn, and that's a testimony to him and the job he does.
And you talk about long-standing quality, the lineage, the DNA, about trainer Jimmy Jerkins, who's looking for his first Suburban win next Saturday on Stars and Stripes days. He sends out both V.E. Day, last year's Travers winner. We're looking at his upset win in the Midsummer Derby, and the New York-bred F&X, who both come out of the Brooklyn.
Well, a race obviously always held in high regard by Jimmy Jerkins. Being a native New Yorker, his father won most of these big races at least once, and Jimmy's certainly doing his share, winning a lot of major races. I think he's 2 for 2 now in the Travers, and with a win and a runner-up last year in the Travers,
Last year, well, had the win with V.E. Day over Wicked Strong, and won the race a few years ago with the Fleet Express.
And those are his only starters in the race, so he's not showing up just to be a part of the event. He's showing up to win, and he gets his horses fit and ready. It's fun for me to watch Jimmy as a trainer.
Very few blank spots on the New York resume of 7-time Eclipse Award-winning trainer Todd Pletcher. The Suburban, however, a Grade 2 worth $500,000, is a race that has eluded that barn, and Todd will look to put an end to that this coming Saturday against the Belmont hero from a year ago in Tonalist, as he sends out both Coach Inge and My Loot. And in the case of Coach Inge and My Loot, both horses breezed in company today, and My Loot might be ready, Mig, to capture or recapture some lost time. This was a horse cut out to be a pretty good one.
Yeah, he really was cut out to be a good horse. I find it interesting. You'll see Todd Pletcher work a lot of his good horses together. It keeps them in the bridle. It keeps them competitive without the riders having to ask them to do anything, so they travel on the bit. I always find it interesting that they do that, but it certainly works extremely well for Todd Pletcher. I got to be honest, though, out of the two, the horse that kind of gets me excited a little bit is Coach Inge. I just feel like this horse has really found his form, and he's taken it to another level.
Breezed in company today with Tommy Macho, who will be running this coming Saturday in the Dwyer Stakes for 3-year-olds, and Coach Inge, who began the winter very little more than just a struggling average non-winners of one allowance horse, turned quite a few heads with that resolute Brooklyn win, where he carved out a very hot pace and just refused to lose, even though V.E. Day came up to him with a full head of steam.
Yeah, but it just takes certain horses more time to find their form. And I go back, the filly Life is Beautiful.
Life at 10.
I'm sorry, Life at 10. I'm good. That's a movie, Life is Beautiful. Life at 10. A really good movie, too, by the way.
Great movie.
She was kind of toiling in that A other than, 2 other than condition, but when she got good, she went right along and won several Grade 1s. Coach Inge has the look of a horse to me that's really figured it out.
For a trainer that already has Protonico, Liam's Map, and Race Day pointing to Saratoga Racecourse, we shudder to think what the Pletcher operation will be like upstate. Let's move on to the 59th running of the Mother Goose, a race Todd Pletcher has asking for money. Todd has won the Mother Goose 4 times. He's looking for his 5th win, as are 9 rival trainers. We'll see what shook out. Larry Comas with the call from the gate.
They're off in the Mother Goose. And it's Hot City Girl who comes out running. And from the inside, Embellish the Lace away, running in second position. Pleasant Tales is out third. Munasara going up in between horses, and Wonder Gal is prominent early in 5th. 3 lengths to Askin for Money. Danessa Deluxe is next by 2, and then Chide. Money's on Charlotte, and late running Include Betty at the rear of the field. 14 lengths off the lead, 22-3. A sharp opening quarter mile here for Hot City Girl, who leads the field up the backstretch in the Mother Goose. Embellish the Lace is kept close on the outside, running in second by a length and a half. And then it's Munasara, followed by Pleasant Tales on the outside. They're right together, 3rd and 4th. And then comes Wonder Gal 5th on the outside. Askin for Money 6th along the rail after a 45 2/2 mile. Then Danessa Deluxe. And now Include Betty begins to roll from the back of the pack. She just went in between Chide and Money's on Charlotte, and she's starting to gain some ground with this long shot Hot City Girl still in front. Embellish the Lace on the outside is second. And then comes Pleasant Tales. Munasara's dropped right back through the field. She's plummeted to last as they come toward the top of the stretch. It is still Hot City Girl turning for home in front. Embellish the Lace on the outside. Pleasant Tales. Include Betty is charging up 5 wide, and Askin for Money is also closing in down toward the inside, but Include Betty has swept to the lead under Drayton Van Dyke, and she is pulling away. Include Betty by 3. Pleasant Tales. On the outside comes Chide, who's getting into the mix late. Then comes Wonder Gal. They're coming down to the line, and Include Betty has won the Mother Goose. And it was very close for second. It may have been Wonder Gal in a photo with Chide, and Pleasant Tales was 4th.
This was the right kind of setup, but forgetting about that, Include Betty capitalized on the fast pace and was very sharp in her Belmont debut.
Very sharp. Got a real nice ride from Drayton Van Dyke. Very patient. That's one of this kid's virtues, is he's very patient. I could tell after the race he was trying to control his enthusiasm, but well-timed ride by a very nice filly who, when she gets a little bit of pace in front of her, she's going to make her presence felt.
3rd stakes wins on the year, or 3rd stake win on the year for this filly by Include, who's coming down victory lane, as we do with all the Grade 1 winners at Belmont Park. She is trained by Tom Proctor. We know those orange and green silks are familiar. Brereton Jones, who also owns the Kentucky Oaks winner, Lovely Maria. And how about Eclipse Award winning apprentice Drayton Van Dyke, his first day ever at Belmont Park. He won a Grade 1, and he caught up with the MIG after the Mother Goose.
Drayton, you got pretty far back, but the pace was fast. What were you thinking when you were that far back?
I just had to make sure I kept pulling my goggles down so I could see where I was going.
Well, it seems like you did well with these elements. In California, you don't get to ride in the mud much. Was this a new experience for you?
Honestly, it's not too bad out there. I mean, it's sticking to your goggles, but it's not like sloppy or anything.
Nice filly. She didn't get the pace she needed in the Black Eyed Susan. Do you think she'll have any problem even going further, maybe a race like the Alabama?
No, I don't think so. And like me and Tom were saying, she's a filly that really doesn't like to be hit a whole lot. So it's more just getting along with her and keeping her happy.
Looked like when she hit the front, she was kind of looking around a little bit when she didn't have company.
Right. That's why I try to be patient and just kind of didn't ask her right when I turned for home. Just eased on into it and kind of threw her ears up. So I had to kind of get busy on her.
I guess you're enjoying your first trip to Belmont Park.
2 for 2.
Well, keep it going. I know you got one more.
Thank you.
Right, 2 for 2 as Tom Proctor and Mr. Van Dyke teamed up for a win in the opening leg of the late pick 4, race number 7. But I'll tell you, Mig, you look at her 3rd stakes win on the year with this filly by Include. She has got to be mentioned near the top of this division on the dirt.
Yeah, I think she is one of the top 3. Obviously, the filly that won the Oaks is the leader of this division, but there's still a lot of racing left this year. And briefly getting back to Drayton Van Dyke, he's a throwback to me. He was brought along old school by Tom Proctor. He the first race he ever rode, he had to go back to the barn and walk the horse. That was the kind of stuff they did when I was an apprentice many, many years ago. It's nice to see a kid get that foundation, and I really like him. We're going to see him around for a lot of years to come.
Right, maybe we'll get to see him at Saratoga, the coaching club, the Alabama, 2 races you would think would be on the radar for Include Betty. As we include the Pick 6, we had the carryover and the late Pick 4 on this Saturday edition of Belmont Insider. A lot more coming your way. High above the Jersey side of Manhattan. A few weeks ago on Belmont Stakes Day 2015, we're looking at the capital of the world. 8 million people out there in New York City. And, of course, we are at one of New York's landmarks, beautiful Belmont Park, on this Saturday, 43rd day of racing. And that will set us up, Mig, on this final weekend in the month of June, July 4th, Independence Day, the second Stars and Stripes Festival.
Well, we should be having some fireworks out on the racetrack on the Stars and Stripes. We got the Belmont Oaks, the Belmont Derby, and I'm really looking forward to the Suburban. I think Tonalist is the best older horse in training. I think the 1.25 miles hits him between the eyes, and Christopher Clement, to me, has emerged as one of the best trainers that we've seen in a very long time.
He'll take on the duo from Jimmy Jerkins, who both breezed today, and the duo from Todd Pletcher, who worked today and were a part of headlines just a short time ago on MSG+. Race number 4, let's do it. We'll get them in the gate. Larry Comas will take us through the action on the main track as we have a group of 3 and up maidens gunning for a purse of $75,000.
They're off. Heliodoro started very well. So too Private Show on the outside. Chomsky came out running in third. Going up between horses is Cavalucci quickly now, and Gangster is there too, but Cavalucci has rushed up to take the lead. Rad Ortiz Jr. and Cavalucci have taken charge now, and they open up a length and a half from Private Show. Then Heliodoro to the inside. Gangster between. Loose on the Town on the far outside. Chomsky is next by 4, and then comes Power Heat and Godrivi, 22 and 2 the quarter for Cavalucci. Private Show puts on the pressure. Second on the outside, a half length behind. Loose on the Town is third. In between horses, Gangster follows in fourth, and Chomsky and Heliodoro. 3 lengths to Power Heat, and Godrivi at the back of the field as Cavalucci goes at it up front. Cavalucci head-and-head with Private Show through a 45 and 4 half-mile. And then it's Loose on the Town third to the outside. Chomsky is coming with a 4-wide run. Heliodoro is right behind horses, and so too Gangster, and now it's Loose on the Town. And Loose on the Town has taken the lead. Chomsky is second. From far behind, Godrivi is gaining ground in the center of the track, but it's going to be Loose on the Town. Loose on the Town scores in the end by 2.5 lengths over Chomsky. And then it was Godrivi and Gangster.
Well prepped. Firster by Speightstown, took down a good field, very sharp, auspicious debut, Loose on the Town.
Yeah, for a trainer, Brian Lynch, that has done well shipping in. Now he's got a stable here at Belmont Park, a welcome addition to the New York trainer colony. Nice ride by Jose Lezcano, well-timed. This horse ran well despite running on his left lead through the stretch, and we'd be remiss not to mention Jim and Susan Hill from the Hill family that campaigned Seattle Slew.
One of the greatest sire of sires and a Triple Crown winner back in 1977. The mighty Slew, nice effort as well in defeat from the runner-up Chomsky, who had not run since late December of 2013. We won't wait that long, in fact. We'll get you right into the action. Race number 6, the 3-year-old Victory is Sweet, odds on against a good group of older horses with Larry Comas.
They're off. A good start for the favorite. Victory is Sweet. Straight out to the front from Fury of the Norseman. And the Big Deluxe came out running in third to the outside. Madrus is away in fourth. And Silver Ride, Alex the Terror, Charitable and Joking. And the field races for the turn. Victory is Sweet. Getting an early test from the Big Deluxe. These two go right at it on the lead. The Big Deluxe now to the front. Victory is Sweet. A neck back in second through a 22-1 first quarter mile. Fury of the Norseman is 3 lengths off the lead, running in third on the far turn. Then Silver Ride to the outside of Alex the Terror. Joking, Madrus next, and Charitable. They're coming toward the top of the stretch. Victory is Sweet is coming back on the inside of the Big Deluxe, and they're going to turn for home together. Fury of the Norseman edging up to them while coming 3 wide. A 45 and 1/2 mile. They're into the stretch. Victory is Sweet on the rail, back in front. Victory is Sweet. taking over the lead now. The Big Deluxe has given way into second. Silver Ride is next on the outside, and then comes Joking. It is Victory is Sweet coming down to the line in front. Jose Ortiz and Victory is Sweet to win. Joking second. And then it was Silver Ride in the Big Deluxe.
Second win on the card for the Sire Congrats, who also won today's first race, and he's got a pretty good 3-year-old sprinter in the form of Victory is Sweet. And I guess Victory was sweet today, Mig. This horse was really sharp.
He was really sharp, and I think he signaled that there are bigger and better things in his future. This is his fourth start at his fourth different track. His first start, a throwout. Probably needed it to figure the game out. Rebounded with a huge win at Aqueduct. Good effort in the Chick Lang, and I like that he showed a little different dimension today. He had to take a little bit of heat from the outside, but he showed that he's got the heart that it's going to take to be a good horse going forward.
Plenty of opportunity for a good 3-year-old sprinter at Saratoga Racecourse. We'll have the prep for the Travers Day King's Bishop on Saturday, August 1st. That is the Grade 2 Amsterdam on the same card as the Grade 1 Alfred G. Vanderbilt. You would think Michelle Nevin and owner Samantha Siegel have those two spots on the radar of Victory is Sweet. On the radar for us, everything else we have not talked about from this 43rd day at Belmont. Here we go. Larry C. off the quarter pole in the opener.
Come to the 8th pole. Call Daddy is closing in. Now on the outside, these two come down to the 16th pole together. Salem Loop and Call Daddy. Salem Loop digs in on the inside of Call Daddy. Salem Loop, Call Daddy. Salem Loop by a neck. Call Daddy was second. Rambeau was third, and Thomas Knight fourth. To the top of the stretch, Attractive Ride turns for home with a 2-length lead. Bet the Power now angles to the outside as they come into the final furlong. Attractive Ride drifting to the rail. Bet the Power closing in. And then it's Love to Run in third. It is still Attractive Ride. Bet the Power yet to get by. Attractive Ride, Bet the Power down to the line. Attractive Ride all the way. And then it was Bet the Power, Love to Run, and Chilton. Side of them. Ecstatic Miss saves ground behind the leader. Sweet Nicosi comes up on the outside. Persnickety's trying to gain ground too. Into the final furlong. It is Simple Love on the outside. Spectacular Me. Benny's Bullet digs in at the rail. Persnickety's closing on the far outside. In the final 16th, Spectacular Me on the outside. Simple Love. Farther out, Persnickety's coming. The three of them come down to the line together. Persnickety in the last strides to get up and win. A photo taking the lead. 3/4 in 1:10 and 2. Lieutenant Shawnee O. Grandpa Len tries to battle on from the inside, and they're 4 lengths ahead of Day's Ride in third. Into the final furlong, and it is Lieutenant Shawnee O pulling away from Grandpa Len, and Day's Ride on the outside, who moves up into second late. But Rajiv Mirage and Lieutenant Shawnee O are all alone as they come under the line. Day's Ride second, and then Grandpa Len and MJ Plus. And they're coming toward the top of the stretch. Be Nice or Leave and Resolute Babe turn for home together. Outer Orbit has given way on the inside and is back running in third. Gimme Jimmy trying to mount a charge. Then Queen of Z Nile, followed by Race and Shine on the outside. And Life's a Stage into the final 16th. Be Nice or Leave leads the way. Life's a Stage finishing fast far outside. Outer Orbit coming back on the rail. Be Nice or Leave did it. And then it was Life's a Stage. Looked like Queen of Z Nile got up for third. Wide, Slide Tom 4 wide. On the rail is Request, and they're into the stretch, and it's still Boulder Dash. Boulder Dash turning for home in front, but here they all come now. Request up the rail, go around to the outside, make a decision outside of them. Slide Tom farthest out in the middle of the course. It's Slide Tom on the inside, make a decision, go around. Request down toward the inside. Slide Tom, Request on the inside. These two down to the line together, head bobbing to the finish. It's very close. Slide Tom a Request, and then another photo between Make a Decision. The others have ground to make up, and they're turning for home here. Bluegrass Rye on the inside, Britannia's Moat right alongside. Doc Curlin, Security Risk is coming up in between horses. There on the outside is Tinto Mesa along with Reverend Green. Shinobi is in behind them, and farther out comes Malibu Preacher. But it is now Security Risk who has emerged with a 3-length lead and is pouring it on late. Security Risk looking good in the end, won it by about 4.5 lengths over Bluegrass Rye. Looked like Tinto Mesa edged out Britannia's Mold for
covered
third.
Everybody, but they did cover Security Risk, who just dominated the field in the last little over 8,000. We hope you took down the pick 6 today, and that was such an impressive maiden race on the turf, Mig, in today's 10th. Let's get out Cappy, his binocs, and we'll go back to the Black and Cherry with this well-bred colt for the Phipps stable. Warfront out of a Mother Goose and Coaching Club American Oaks winner in Smuggler.
Well, I think he's paying a little homage to his mom there. She won a Mother Goose. It's Mother Goose Day. This is a strong performance. It looked like this took this horse a little while to find his best form. Rated kindly for Johnny Velasquez, was up on the pace at Keeneland and responded well and galloped out well. This horse probably can build off of this as well.
Typical Shug right here. The proof is in this effort. Lifetime start number 4, and it was a knockout. Speaking of doing things well and knocking out the competition, young Drayden Van Dyke, first day ever at Belmont, and he's unbeaten.
Yeah, well, pretty heady stuff to come in here, win his first mount here, come back and win a Grade 1. And I could tell he was trying to keep himself contained in the post-race interview, but I think inside he was bubbling over.
3 weekends remain at Belmont as we check out the trainer standings here on Insider. Todd Pletcher still the top dog. Seems like things have cooled off a little bit for the man that turned 48 years old yesterday, but make no mistake, there are plenty of live horses on that backstretch.
No doubt. I mean, I thought for sure he'd smash his personal best. I still think he will. Don't know if he'll get to the record, though.
Owner standings, Michael Dubb, in fact, with 10, David Jacobson with 9, Godolphin stable. They wanted a better effort out of that Bernardini firster back in race number 4. Maybe next time. 1 page of claims, including 3 consecutive two-way shakes on the bottom, but 7 people went in for Bet the Power.
Yeah, 7-way shake. Do you consider yourself lucky when you win a shake like that, or are you questioning maybe somebody else should have got him?
I walked away a little disappointed with that effort, even though I respect the winner, Attractive Ride, who was winning for the 21st time in his career. Sunday preview, La Verdad, when we come back. One final Party at the Park remains. A late start, a late ending this coming Friday, July 3rd. We'll kick off 4th of July weekend in style. Post-race concert with the B Street Band. Of course, can't go wrong with some Bruce Springsteen covers out in the spacious backyard on a glorious July 3rd. Friday evening at beautiful Belmont Park. And I'll tell you, Mig, yesterday's Party at the Park card was pretty good, even looking in isolation at both Lubosh and Noble Cornerstone.
Yeah, always a good day of racing when you got 2 New York breds like that showing up on the card.
And speaking of New York breds, La Verdad will strut her stuff in tomorrow's featured 3rd race, the Dancing Renee. She will take plenty of beating. She is 1-5 on the line. There is no show wagering due to the presence of La Verdad, and she is close to perfection. She has got one impressive resume.
But how do you feel? You got a nice New York bred filly. You get her ready. You run in the Dancing Renee thinking, okay, I got a shot at this. And you pick up an overnight, and there's La Verdad. It's like the monster in the room. I mean, she's just so talented. She's so fast. I don't see anything that could entertain her early speed there. It looks like a layup.
I'm going the purse of 75 G's. What's second money? That's my initial thought.
Yeah.
Onward and upward for La Verdad, and for us, we'll get on to race number 6. It'll kick off Sunday's late pick 4. Very good-looking allowance race where we have Unbridled Juan for trainer Brian Lynch.
Well, we commented Brian Lynch, a couple wins today. He's going to make his presence felt here. This looks like a very, very live horse here. And he won going 2 turns there. He can get the distance. He got to deal with a 1-turn mile on the 16th here at Belmont Park.
Let's move on to American Soldier. Contenders from all over the place. We'll head down to Parks for a look at American Soldier, who's got Johnny V tomorrow.
Johnny V, great trainer in Anthony Dutrow. He's a pioneer of the Nile. Well, we've seen their success recently on the track. This horse looks like the speed of the race. He's coming out of a sprint where he showed high speed. He's got a pedigree that says he can go long, but he's certainly going to have to rate kindly for Johnny Velasquez to get the mile on the 16th.
Step up in class for David Jacobson in Day of Fury, who was one of the many former Bob Baffert horses picked up by David Jacobson via private sale. He didn't take much play in this Belmont debut, but it didn't matter. He dominated and got a pretty fast buyer.
Well, and how many times have we seen this? David Jacobson, when a horse gets good, he's not afraid to step him up in company, and they've delivered time and time again. He's another horse that possesses a lot of speed. I don't think he has American Soldier speed, and he's well posted outside where he can kind of gallop into the race without having to be asked to get in the race.
That is a highlight on a Sunday card that gets underway at 1:20. We'll keep our fingers crossed regarding Mother Nature and the forecast of rain. Sunshine and clear skies await, though, as we send it down to who else? Andy Serling and Maggie Wolfendale with who they like.
The exciting performance by Victorious Sweet in the 6th race on Saturday. Well, those connections, Michelle Nevin and the owner JMS Stable, have a very interesting horse in our first race at Belmont on Sunday, and that's Zealous Wildcat. This is a live-looking race that includes I'll Take Charge, who will be a big favorite off a second-place finish behind a horse that failed to make the Super at odds of 2-5 on Friday's card. And I don't think Zealous Wildcat's going to take a ton of money in here, so you'll get a fair enough price. She actually debuted in a very live maiden field last fall at Belmont and showed extreme speed. We saw something happen in that race. It necessitated a long layoff. We haven't seen her now in going on 9 months. Hopefully she's back for very sharp connections, and she may not be as good as Victorious Sweet, but she won't need to be that good to win the first race at Belmont on Sunday.
Well, for the Sunday card, I think we might get plagued by some rain showers here throughout today and Sunday. So I'm going to stick with a dirt race, and that is going to be race number 6, an allowance race for 3-year-olds and upward. We're going 1 1/16, one turn here at Belmont. I'm going to take a shot with a horse down on the rail, going out of the Chad Brown barn. That is Financial Modeling here. Now, he came back off of a long layoff over a year at Parks with a nice, handy kind of win. To me, it didn't look as though he expended too much energy. It didn't seem as though it was that tough of an effort for him. Going back to my notes last year with him as a 3-year-old, I liked this horse and felt as though that the longer the distances were, the better he'd do. So this is the longest he's gone so far, but I think he should relish it. And although he won towards the front end last time out, I think he can take back and rate a bit. He's going to have to kind of learn a different type of running style, as he will have to break from the rail, but taking a shot with Financial Modeling for your Paddock Insider today. Guys, back to you.
5-1, the smart money in today's 59th running of the Mother Goose. Include Betty. You better include her with the best 3-year-old fillies in training. That'll do it for the Mig and I on this Saturday edition of Belmont Insider. We'll see you tomorrow night right here on MSG+.